As Kyle mentioned in the introduction, we're just taking this opportunity to update on some current work in other studies as well as the probable link work that we're doing. And I wanted to report some new findings we have in relation to lipids, cholesterol in the blood. We have and I'm just going to briefly summarize without slides, so I apologize for people who like to watch slides. I'm going to summarize why we're doing this, what we've done, the results and the implications for the science panel work. The background is that there are a number of studies, both in the Mid-Ohio Valley, but also published in other exposed populations, indicating that there is an association. The higher your levels of C8 or PFOA, the higher the levels of cholesterol. So there's always been a concern that what's the direction of this relationship? Is it just that some people have naturally a tendency to bioconcentrate these two different materials, the cholesterol and the C8? Is that driving this association? So in order to answer this question, we designed a study within the Science Panel research program where we invited back aimed to invite back 800 and in the end 755 volunteers. Come back and give repeated blood samples. Also did some interviews, but for the purposes of this study, the key thing was to see whether or not, at a time when C8 levels were falling in this population, whether or not there was a correlated fall in lipid levels. What were the results? The results were that there was clearly a fall in C8, which is welcome. Since the exposure has largely stopped, it's starting to wash out of the population's blood, and it's almost exactly since the 2005-06 survey of the C8 Health Project to our repeated survey in 2010, a gap of four years, 3 months. During that period, levels of C8 have fallen in the serum of the people that we re-examined by about 50%. Now, not everybody fell exactly, although exposure has largely stopped, not everybody's exposure fell to exactly the same amount. Some people fell only about 20%, some people's C8 levels have fallen by up to 80%. So we could see whether or not that difference in the degree of drop of C8 correlates with the cholesterol. And in fact, this is what we found, that the more the C8 level has fallen, the bigger the correlated drop in lipids. Total cholesterol, particularly LDL, so-called bad cholesterol, where we found that a 50% drop in C8 was associated with a 3.6% drop, well, a small drop, but a significant drop of lipids. What does this mean? Now, this is a small drop. This 3.6% drop is within the normal range, so it's not a disease, it's not a clinical manifestation, but it does help us in the interpretation of when we come to do the probable link for cardiovascular diseases on the potential plausibility of the association between C8 and, for example, hyperlipidemia, raised lipid levels, which is potentially a disease. So, but these first results are looking at the association, as I say, between the fall in C8 and the fall in cholesterol, and as is summarized in the document headed Serum Lipids, the status report. You can see the full details, but essentially I've summarized them there. That there is an association that we found.